Hey guys, today we're gonna talk about the coffee espresso machine. So as a coffee lover like myself, I would love to have a cup of coffee in the morning. I mean like a good cup of coffee. So I have been trying many different options and machine before, and these two machines coming down to my favorite. So the first one is gonna be the Breville 870XL. This is basically a espresso machine. Is involved the level of manual that we had to do. The second machine is gonna be a Phillips Saeco Intelia. So this is fully automatic machines. These two has advantage and disadvantage in my opinions, and they are actually good in their own way. Depends on when we want to use it and how we want to use it. But I can go into each of the machines, kind of like give you guys an idea of how it's operate and the differences between them two. But in my book, they're pretty good, and depends on the day, and I decide which one to use. First off, let's start with the Breville 870XL. So these machines come with few of the baskets. So I store all the baskets out here. So it's pretty good. Let's have a little tray that pull out here for the drip tray, and I got all the baskets and other accessories stored down here. It's come with four different baskets. So we're gonna talk about these baskets in a little bit. So in terms of functionalities, this machine has a hopper up here to hold the whole bean coffee, and this whole half of a pound. On the side here we have a dial where we can adjust the grind of the beans. So it could be more coarse or finer in the way, depends on how you want to make your coffee. On the end here we have a tamper that actually tuck away with the magnetic down here. After you're done using, you can just store it back here, so we're not losing it. Of course, here's a portafilter. On this side of the machine we have the steamer option along with the hot water. This is a single boiler machine, right? So on top here where you see my cups is a cup warmer plate. So basically, if you take your shot, you leave your shot or your cups up here, it will keep it warm for you when you're ready to brew your shot. Over here it's got a little wand where we're gonna do the frothing, milk frothing, and the sprout down here where we're gonna get the hot water. In the back we actually have 2-liter reservoir, which is a water tank to supply the water to this machine. On top here we see a little gauge meter, the pressure of, when we're making the coffee, we know whether we in the right pressure, under extraction or over extraction and whatnot. So if we look into the details of the front, we got the power button here where we're gonna adjust the amount of coffee grind that we're gonna have, or the dose, right? Over here basically select the filter side. That is gonna come down to the basket that we're talking about here. They come with two set of different basket or filters. One set is gonna be pressurized and the other one is gonna be non-pressurized. For the pressurized one, basically it's a dual wall, and this is more user friendly where you're not much into making coffee or not a professional barista. You can actually use this type of filter, so that way it's accommodate for anything that we are not perfect at, such as the coffee grind, whether it's too fine or too coarse, and the amount that we temp the coffee in the portafilter. So this is more user friendly. We will get almost the same amount of crema when we make a coffee. For those that basically non-pressurized, is only have one wall, easy to see. Basically right here is will require a little bit more practice to make the perfect shot. So depends on how you want to use or the level of expertise in this area for us to use the different type of filters. So for the same set, they have two different size. We see one is bigger than the other. Depends on which one we use. That way we're gonna select the filter size here. It's gonna be a single shot or double shot. Basically, it is the amount of water that's going through. On this side, we have a program button, single or double shot. This is gonna be the amount of water that going through, how many ounces of the espresso that you want to make, right? So you also be able to program the amount of water as well. So whether it's gonna be 1 ounce, 2 ounce, or you can make it into the big cup, you can program that amount of water using this program button here. So let's move on to the next one, which is the cycle here. This one is a fully automatic machine. Basically, from the Breville, you have to put your portafilter in here, grind a coffee bean, tempt it, and put it over here to the brewing group, and make your shot. On the other hand, this machine here is one button operation. So you touch one button and everything gonna be done. So I'm gonna do a demonstration later. But basically this machine is pretty similar in the way it's got the hopper to put the whole bean coffee in. It's got a water tank in the front. On the left here that we're gonna be refilling water when it's low. And the good thing is when the water getting low, we can see the indicator on top here, let you know that you will have to refill your water tank. On the right, you're gonna have the basket where the coffee puck gonna be deposited in here once it's done. Every time it's make a shot, the puck gonna be deposited in here. Once it's full, it's gonna have a little indicator here, let you know that it's time to empty the basket. Right. So down here is the water tray. We need to empty this one when there's an indicator. It's gonna raise here once the water filling up. Here's gonna be a double sprout. You can adjust the height of it to fit your cup. Up front we got single cup, double cup. Here where we're gonna do the steaming or hot water. On this side, it's gonna go into the menus where you're gonna adjust certain functionalities or settings of the machine. Just to mention, this is fully automated machine. However, you can also use the grind coffee. You have an option to put the bean in the hopper and make a shot from the fresh bean, right? Or there's a little flap up here. You can open it up and put your coffee grind or powder in here, and you can make it from there in case you have some other type of coffee that is not a whole bean. So that's giving you that option by hitting this button here, which is it's gonna switch back and forth between the whole bean or the grind. When I switch to the coffee bean, you actually be able to select the amount of coffee you're gonna use. Coffee beans to use, or how strong your shot gonna be by select one bean up to like 3 beans. So this one have a steam one here as well. Since this is a fully automatic machine, the way we froth milk from this machine is slightly different, in which it has a little holes here that you can stick into your milk carton or containers. And once you select the steamer from here, the froth milk gonna come out from here perfectly, in which we don't have to do it manually versus this machine over here that you have to put your milk in your pitchers and, you know, doing that type of action. However, if you decide to do manual on this machine, there's an option. You can just pull this out and it leaving you with this one here for you to do it manual as well. Another key thing I want to mention is it's coming down to these type of machines. Maintenance is gonna be something that we have to look into, right? And we are talking about routine maintenance. What does that mean is we have to clean the machine routinely based, right? It's just like how you change your filters in your house or change your oils in your car. Same thing with this machine. In order to keep it in the good condition and for it to perform the level that it should, these machines need to be kept clean at majority of time. So what does that mean is each of these machines will require a certain level of cleaning. In some cases where you are in the area that you use the tap water that hotter than other places, the calcium being deposited within the machine just might be higher compared to other areas. So we need to decal the machine routinely based. So for me, I will try to do it every 2 months or so. I live in the area where the water is not so hard, but I would love to keep them clean. The way we cleaning these is gonna be a little bit different. It might be a little bit easier on the machine involved more level of manual compared to the automated one. So for that, let me just talk about that quickly. On this Breville here, we got the cleans and decal lights here, wanted indicator. Once it's turned on, we need to see whether we need to clean or whether we need to decal the machines. And just follow the manuals, go in there, you know, hit certain button combinations that it can run the water through and clean out the system in here. It flush out the machine with all the coffees and all those stuff out there and keep it clean. In terms of decals, there's type of it's kind of like a peel that we have to put in here along with some other decal solution that we have to put in the tank to run it to keep the machine in the good condition. For this one, basically on the side here, it is the window where we're gonna open it, and there's a brewing group in there. It has all different mechanisms where it's gonna, you know, the machine is the coffee is going into the brewing group, and then it's got like something like a piston go down to press it down, you know, and make a coffee and all that stuff. All that fun stuff from here need to be cleaned out. So we have to take this apart, rinse it through the water, you know, follow the instruction from the manuals, make sure this is clean. This is a older version, which is I bought it a few years back when it first came out, and it has been few years that since I have this machine, and it's been serving me really well. I keep them clean all the time, so that way it still serves my needs, and that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of time where we have a machine, we use it, and then we forget because we are so busy with life, and turns around something is not working. The first thing you want to look into is open it up and make sure it's clean on either side. So yeah, it does require certain type of maintenance. It's not going to be a maintenance free like other machines out there, for example. But these are definitely my two most favorite machines that I'm going to go for anytime coming to making a coffee. Let's go into the demonstration. Let's start with the Breville. So how we gonna make a shot out of this machine? So first of all, we have to have a fresh bean in the hopper, right? And then depends on what type of filter that you're gonna use on your portafilters. In my case, I use double wall single shot. So when you put it into here and you press it in, there's a button in the back that's gonna allow you to allow the coffee be and grind. And again, as I mentioned, this dial here gonna adjust the doses of the coffee, whether you want more or less, depends on your coffee grind. So in this case, for me, this is the level I do, and we're gonna tempt it, press it, twist it. Right. And we're gonna put it in the brewing head. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and make the single shot. At the needles that's go into the gray area here, that for us to know the coffee being extracted at the perfect level. As you see here, for me to make 1 ounce, and it's right at 1 ounce level, and you can see the amount of crema that the machine made. Let's give it a try, see how it tastes. It's really perfect. It's great. Definitely something I'm looking for. One of the key things when we're using this machine, the machine being ready fairly quickly in just few minutes, but per recommendation, basically when we brew a shot, we want not only having a hot coffee, but we need to heat up the entire machine, where the warmer plates, the brewing group, the portafilters, pretty much everything needs to be hot. In that case, we be able to make a perfect shot every time, right? So that is the recommendation. Another accessory that I forgot to mention, in order to use this one, I mean, we should have a knock box. Basically, in any time that we done making a shot, we will need the knock box to take out the coffee puck from here. So this is the one that I use, also from Breville as well. That really useful. So that is how we make a coffee from this machine. Basically, it's not gonna be fully automatic. We have to be having some sort of manual process involved, right? Take a little bit longer time to make a good shot of coffee on this machine, and you can be pretty creative with this machine as well, in terms of, you know, make certain type of latte, cappuccinos, you know, you name it. So let's move on to the next machine that also my favorite. It's Saeco, which is fully automated. This machine gonna be my go-to machine on daily basis. In the morning, you know, sometime rushing for work, I only have few minutes, and I don't want to spend 15-20 minutes to make me a perfect shot. So that's why I go for the fully automatic one, which is one button and I be on my own way. So let's switch to the other machines. So for this machine, when we turn it on, it's gonna do a little self-clean, which is gonna drain a little water out here. It's gonna warm up the machine. So whenever the screen display all in green, basically is the machine ready to go. So at that moment, we can go ahead and make our shot. So to make it, I'm gonna go with my single shots again. As I mentioned earlier, this has a little sprout here. that can adjust up and down to accommodate your height of your cup. So to make one single shot, I'm gonna use all 3 beans, which is the strongest shot that we can make from this machine. I'm just go ahead and hit the button here. Alright, so I had my shot just made at URAC. Literally it takes less than 2 minutes to make one shot. In this case, it's also my 2-ounce shot. You can see the amount of crema that this machine can make is look really good as well. Going back to the point, well, this is a fully automatic machine. So on any day that I don't have time, I just go ahead, hit the power buttons, go brush my teeth and wash my face and whatnot, and then come back, just hit either a single shot or double shot, and I will have my coffee ready literally in couple minutes. Versus the other machine where I have to heat it up, and then it has some manual process involved. It could take between 5 and 10 minutes to have my perfect cup of coffee. So yeah, this is definitely my go-to machine on daily basis. I love it. So let's talk about the coffee shots quality. Well, they pretty much compatible between the two. So the only thing is, with the automatic one, the cycle, you're not be able to do a lot of modification. You're not be able to be so creative with your coffee, right? I mean, ignore the fact that you're gonna make latte, you're gonna froth your milk, you're gonna make cappuccino. But in terms of playing with making the espresso shot alone, this machine does not give you a lot of options. Basically everything is pre-programmed, the temperatures of the water, from the amount of coffee grind. However, from the grind of the coffee in here inside the hopper, you basically be able to adjust whether to make it more coarse or make it finer, and that is gonna require a little bit more work, since you will need the key to go in and adjust it in here, versus the Breville machine. It's just a dial on the side. Alright, so we just went through the process of making a espresso shot from both the machine. You see how they operated. You see how long does it take for each of the machines in order for us to make a shot. Some other factors that I would like to look into it, the cost as well. The price tags on each one actually different from each other, and for the fully automated machine it's going to be much more expensive, but the amount of time that you have to put into to get your shot, it's going to be much shorter. For those that love making coffee, love playing with the combinations and adjust it to your taste, the Breville's is gonna be your choice. But for whoever will only need a perfect shot every time and don't want to play around with the machine, don't want to play making the different recipes, and this one definitely for you. In terms of the coffee beans, every single person have a different preference, so I will not go into that, but whatever the coffee bean brand that you prefer to go for it. Some other function that I mentioned earlier, which is on both machine, we'd be able to get the hot water for any reason. For example, on this one over here, there's a switch where we can just turn it on, so that way we can get the water, hot water, to make hot teas or for any reason. For frothing, this is a steam one. Let me just try it here. Hopefully it doesn't make so much of steam. And since this is a single boiler, it takes a little bit longer for the steam coming out perfectly. So there you go, you can start seeing the steam coming. Let's see here. There you go. So you can see it's a pretty good amount of steam coming off this machine. Alright, on this one here, in the dripping tray, it has a little flap down here. Once the tray being full, the flap gonna raise with the word say empty me, and that is time for you to know that you have to go in and start empty the tray and clean out the machine a little bit. And for this cycle here, same option. We're gonna get some hot water here. So when we hit this button, we have two options, whether you're gonna steam or you're gonna get hot water. So in this case, let's try to get the hot water first. And right now it's showing that it's heating up the water. And once the water reach certain temperature, it's gonna dispense out here in this brown. Okay, and we can stop it at any time by hitting this button here. So earlier I mentioned, if we want to froth the milk, we can just have a carton of milk or container and stick this hose in there. When we hit the steam option here, basically the milk gonna be sucked into this hole and go through here, and the frothing process is gonna happen within this little tube here, and it's coming out the milk down here in the ready mode. But let's try it right now to see if the steam is coming out. There you go. So that is one option for the full process. Now let's try the manual. So basically, if you want to froth your milk manually, just pull this thing out. It's giving you the sprout here. That is going to work the same at the other machine. Alright, so that would be all for these two machines. You've seen how each of the machine operate. There's some point that you might like, some point that you might not like on each of the model. For me, definitely, as I mentioned earlier, I like both of the machines. So please let me know if you have any questions and how did you like each one. Thank you for watching.